Scholars, it is Sunday and it's a lazy day. I'm doing, chores, and I decided to do the video. I wasn't going to, but I'm doing one anyways because we're continuing on the train of marathon. The case it's like more like a cultural study at this point to see how things go, and it's very intriguing to see how people react to marathon, both outside of the community and inside the community of its own people. But before we do talk about, Cryo Archive for the third time, but now we have, a full weekend pretty much, people have given their opinions, and there is a lot of hot takes coming out, including Paul Tassi, it's absolutely grilling a Bungie fanboy, and there's multiple of those today, by the way. Multiple Bungie fanboys getting absolutely body slammed for their retardedness. But we're going to jump in first to me shilling for myself. Oops, that's the wrong one. What the hell, Jim? There you go. I don't know why the webcam was all zoomed. I had two different overlays. Anyways, back to the shilling. We just released our brutally honest review for Resident Evil Requiem. People were like, do you talk about anything you enjoy? Yes. This video right here, check it out. It's a really good, I put a lot of effort into that one. Really good. And just the last shilling, if you want to watch some of my live streams and nice quality and cut into just the game, we do have it on the live stream channel. Be sure to subscribe, check that out. I will have it on our main channel playlist that you can just check out and watch. But if you want to be able to just be up to date whenever I do release something, it will be on that channel for the live stream, making it easier to kind of navigate instead of having a bunch of tabs. I'm trying to make the tabs and everything a little bit better. So enough shilling. Let's jump in to, the main video. The main video. That's right. Cryo Archive has come out, and I would say it's pretty successful. I would say it's pretty successful in the context of its niche community. I think most people love Cryo Archive. They hate aspects of it, but I think in general, they love the map. They like the design. They like the PvP. That's always a good thing, right? A game for everyone is a game for no one. And I think that statement falls true, even if it's made by Bungie and it's a very niche game, which may not be what Sony wants. We can all agree Sony probably is not happy with the state of Marathon. And we can all guess. There's greedy. Bungie's greedy. We all already know. But for the people who don't give a shit about what Sony thinks, they're having a good time. And, that's kind of how it should be. Most people, you should play, if you enjoy a game, play the game you enjoy. Who gives a fuck what anyone thinks, including the billion-dollar company? It's just unfortunate that we live in the time and day and age where even the billion-dollar greedy-ass company could shut down your game at any time. That's always the fear. But outside of that, I mean, who gives a shit if it's not successful? If you're having a good time, have fun with it, right? That's always been my trending thought. However, it's still funny to make fun of people who are like the cult of Bungie, right? They take things to the extreme. It's always a good time to make fun of them, like Comedy Central. So we do have Ziegler coming out, and again, just to show that people do give credit where credit's due. They have, Joe Ziegler has done more, I think, discussion and interaction with the Marathon community than we've ever seen Bungie do in any of their games. I mean, Destiny 1, there was some moments where they really connected. Destiny 2, they lost complete track. So it is very, Ziegler is holding up, in my opinion, this guy right here is holding up Bungie on his back. Because no one else in that company does what Ziegler has done. So you got to give credit where credit is due. The issue is that fans are silencing the feedback, so not a lot of its reach and the devs to begin with. And I do think that there is some fair things to say. I think we live, and this is mostly the Bungie bros, right? The Bungie bros. There are people who have fair criticism, but even the most fair criticism is being silenced, moderated, and removed even on their Reddit. It's crazy. You cannot say anything negative, which I think is an overreach, and to counteract the negativity surrounding the game. I think when you do that, you cause more harm than good. And it opens you up for people like me to make fun of you because it's just insane. So here we go. We got archive. So let's just first off, watch this little clip. Let's just watch this clip of the compiler itself, and then I'll give my thoughts on it. Right?
We're going to space. Hold on.
It's lower quality because it's Twitter.
Cinema. Straight cinema.
Oh my god.
Yeah, yep, straight cinema.
Oh god.
Is that the compiler?
That's the compiler.
Is that him? That's him.
Yep.
No, it's still just
Wait, look.
Maybe
On the side here, we have symbols.
There's symbols.
It's
Like terminal. It's Google
Timer still doesn't reset up.
Wait,
Okay. I've got a UAV.
There you go. Got
Oh my god! Oh! There he is!
Okay, we can.
That's the first look at the compiler in Marathon. The first look at the
Also, ironically, the first thing that actually looks like Marathon.
compiler in Marathon.
It's the only thing that resembles Marathon.
I don't see a
is
health
the
bar.
compiler.
Go around.
They can't even.
All right, so that's pretty much it. There's a lot of hype. I'm gonna, good on the people who are hyped for that. I would say it looked like a cool dungeon style boss, not raid. So that's really cool, but the difficulty level of Marathon is something that turns a lot of people away from the game. It's definitely not for casuals, which could have told you that a long time ago. In my opinion, the game is a terrible idea extraction, but very well executed. If there were PvE like Destiny, it would attract way more interest from the general public. I'm really enjoying the game, but the high difficulty makes me play less than I like to, even though I love PvE. And I think this is a commonality even within the Marathon. Like, I think people who liked hardcore extractions are also being weeded out. I'm just going to say this. I've said this all the time. Cryo Archive is like Labs from Tarkov. It really be like that. Like, you could tell, and it's interesting to see people who've never played an extraction shooter look at Marathon and be like, this is too hard. Like, don't play Tarkov, where you could load into Labs and then get one tapped in the head with the best shit. You could get one tapped. You don't know what challenging is until you've rolled up with the best gear and immediately get one tapped by an AI because everything is so fucking intense. Or you die from a guy ratting in the corner who one taps you too, right? Chat. And so they have their own raid, like special raid-like weapon. So somehow Bungie decided to put exotics into Marathon. And it's going as you think, right? Here's Grenadier Jake with it.
You're gonna be right on us.
By the way, it's a Destiny 2 trace rifle is what it is. With a grenade launcher. It's like a combo. It's a trace rifle combo grenade
Holy
launcher.
shit!
Wow.
Holy shit!
Yep.
Brother!
Load him up.
Brother!
Yep.
How was that?
The All-Fire does some crazy shit.
And you can imagine that is going to be the meta for quite some time. You can imagine, yeah, as fun as I'm sure that was, there's no way that should be intended. Where are they green shields? Did they get one tap of green shields? Mytho class. I like the name that's Mytho. But yeah, expect shit like that. Yeah, so it's called the Biotoxin Disinjector. And yep, Bungie decided, hey, we're gonna add an exotic-like weapon, which, by the way, looked like it would have been pretty cool if that was an actual exotic in Destiny, but I found this funny. It is so hard that people are now teaming to try to beat Cryo Archive. I find it so fucking funny because this is the same fucking game where everyone was making fun of Arc Raiders for working together as a team and even made fun of people complaining about it being too hard. And the Marathon main page was just kill everyone, forehead. And now everyone's playing together to do the thing to beat the compiler. People are playing together. It is so funny to see this. It's like, God, you need an extreme hardcore shooter? We don't need to play together. Meanwhile... And there it is. It's really fucking funny to see that. All right, and then of course you have Shroud. I don't know why anyone takes what Shroud says about this game seriously, especially for the fact that not only is he 30 years old without a fucking driver's license, the dude is the same person that screamed Arc Raiders is game of the year and then shat on Expedition 33 later to then roll back what he said after playing the game, saying, "Oh no, this is an amazing game." Like I don't know who is listening to this guy for anything game like focused. Just because he's popular doesn't mean he's right.
But yeah, this update's good, and this Cryo Archive's insane. It's the most elaborate extraction shooter map I've ever seen in a game ever.
Which might be true.
The loop that they made is truly something special. The problem is it too elaborate? Is it too complex? Is it too much of a grind?
Is that magic cards?
Is your 9 to 5 grandma and grandpa going to be able to do it?
What are we?
Your 9 to 5 grandma and grandpa. Nothing. I love people like Shroud because he's kind of like the big like he represents the wider problem with them Bungie bros, and he's not necessarily a Bungie bro. He is a stand for Marathon, but he echoes the same mentality of Bungie bros, where they make fun of people who work 9 to 5. It like, and to act like people who work an actual fucking job aren't capable of being really fucking good at a game. Oh, if you're not a streamer or you don't live in your mother's basement, like a dude that looks like or a dude who works at McDonald's and then he only works on weekends or something, like I don't know what the fuck is wrong with people. You will never garner respect, nor will people want to touch your fucking game if you all have this shitty ass attitude, especially casuals, because people think casuals mean that they're all bad at games. Playing casually does not mean that you're bad at games. You could play a game casually and still be fucking goated. It just means you have a fucking life. You have wife, kids, maybe you actually go touch grass. Who the fuck knows? Not everyone's a fucking privileged ass piece of shit like this. The fact that this motherfucker, and he is a motherfucker, is able to sit on his ass multiple hours a day, never have to get a driver's license because he probably has people chauffeuring his ass, is the most privileged of privileged life. I know fat, obese people moving around Walmart that do more effort at moving around outside of their house than fucking Shroud does. At least they're driving their own damn car. He can't even drive his own damn car. But it's just really insufferable, this mentality, because I feel bad for the people, the average Joes who actually like Marathon, because all you're doing is insulting the people who like Marathon. To say that every person that likes Marathon is not a 9 to 5 Andy or someone who has a job, this shit is like toxic and it needs to go from gaming. This whole like, this is what I call out the bullshit like this, because it's going to hurt gaming. This shit will hurt gaming. It's like, what the fuck is wrong with you? So we got something else that apparently is funny. Subroutine spawn being completely RNG is terrible. Yeah, apparently one of the mechanics to do the puzzle is completely RNG. Even Ryan loves Bungie Marathon, and even he says, yo, this shit crazy. This is bad. You know, when you have some of the people that have been shilling and standing Bungie and Destiny for a long fucking time, you know you done fucked up. But yeah, it's completely random. You have zero. It's a shame that the Bungie monkey paw has kept itself from curling for a few weeks, only in hit with the biggest, coolest, most ambitious map. Yeah, there's the monkey's claw is Cryo. And then we have people who actually play the game. This is what I'm talking about. Thoughts on Cryo Archive? Don't hold back. Not enjoying it. It's just convoluted. If you're into it, great, but I don't see casuals sticking with it. If this is the type of content coming, then unfortunately, I don't see how Bungie grows the player base, and it won't. Maps like Cryo Archive will not bring new people into the game, especially people. It's funny because it's a niche of a niche of a niche. Extraction shooters are a niche. Marathon is a niche on its own, but then you have like this Cryo Archive, which is even more of a niche because Destiny players, only 10% of people do raids and dungeons. And by the way, this looks more like a dungeon than a raid. Anyone that says this is raid-like has obviously diluted what raid mechanics actually look like. This is more like dungeon mechanics, which are usually easier and quicker to do. Like it's very low level, but even then, only 10% of people actually fucking do it in Destiny. So you have that handicap already from Destiny, and then you expect people from Destiny to come over and play this mechanic. It is so funny. I don't see any casuals from Destiny ever coming over to Marathon to touch this shit. I don't. Not to say it was bad, but there's no fucking way you could be like, yeah, our Andes from Destiny 2 are going to play this, or people who aren't diehard extraction shooters. Even the most diehards have had criticisms, which we'll look at some of them. Smoji. So you have Leopard, which is funny. I don't know if this is just bait or what. Can Marathon Cryo be made easier so more players can enjoy it, or is difficulty part of the sauce that makes it Pete? Because it's so good. Figuring out raid mechanics while PvPing is scratching an itch I didn't know. By the way, it's not raid mechanics. It's literally a glorified scavenger hunt. It's very simple things. Okay, let's read what they had to say. I'm really liking the difficulty. I do think some things need to be toned down a bit for the sake of normal people playing the game. So let's see what they say. It's very simple things I'm talking about. Cryopods should just spawn full charge. That step is just meh. Clearance could use less charges needed, but also meh change. Too many locked off doors. Green lasers should be shootable. I agree on that. Less vents. Most of the gameplay was people playing crouched or just dying. Less vents because 8% of the shotgun power for meta gamers is vents. Yeah, people are just sitting camping vent shotgun. Limit nade item usage to cooldown on the slot itself to prevent spamming. Yeah, it feels like it really does feel like it's Halo. Unironically, Halo bubble shotgun. That's a meta. But yeah, people are bringing very fair criticisms. Let's see how people are trending with that. Saying Marathon should have been a single player game is anti-art. I love that we're having a... It's funny because wasn't the original Marathon also single player with some multiplayer too? So Marathon going full PvP, wouldn't that be anti-art as well? Like his original art was that it was single player with some PvP, if I'm not mistaken. So technically the new reboot is anti-art. Anyways, that's not what we're talking about. You'd never be able to experience something as incredible as Cryo Archive in a single player game. That's just not true. That's just not true. Raids and Destiny are not single player, idiots. No, but you can do dungeons, and that's what this is. Like, let's be honest. It's like a PvP dungeon, which is still cool on its own right. Like it's still cool, but it's not as hype as like people are saying it is. Something as incredible as this thing that's in hundreds of games. Name a game that has a map like Cryo Archive right now that isn't a Destiny raid. Well, I just named dungeons. Like I say, it's not a raid, it's a dungeon. Looks like Marathon 2, but this straight up a delusional when Destiny raid exists. Raids are no single players. Dungeons, dude. 90% of already smaller player base will never experience it. Are you kidding? Destiny 2 already exists. I wish there was a campaign that could go play all the other games with campaigns. Yeah, I mean, this guy's getting cooked because it's this weird desperation of trying to make something like, if you enjoy it, that's great, but like trying to make it sound like it's something that it's not is insanity. So we have Ali, who's also been in a hot seat with their takes on Marathon. Actually, giving some feedback. Marathon PvP in Cryo is basically shotgun, bubble, spam nades, pray it kills, self revive, repeat steps. Like, bro, who would have thought? Who would have thought the end game map would, that's the, end game sweaty of the sweat, people would be clutching on the most meta options possible. Huh. Welcome to Extraction Shooters. Never played Tarkov, where you will be, people rat all the time, where you could have the best shit and get one shot by a dude camping with a shotgun. And then Berkey, who's apparently also an Extraction Shooter player. Now that a team has reached the compiler and we know there aren't any mechanics that require multiple people, which, by the way, just like a dungeon. You can't do, not like a raid. Can Bungie explain why Cryo doesn't allow solos? It's a skill check map, and if people want to throw gear at it, why not let them? Exactly. It's a multiplayer game. Crying over one thing solos don't get is insane. Just go play a single player game at this point. Many people enjoy extraction shooters as a solo. Let's see. Tarkov, you can do everything solo. Arc Raiders, you can do everything solo. I don't know. The Delta Force, you can play solo. Like, that's the only ones that are really mainstream. Not sure why you have a hard on for alienating a big part of the player base. Because I don't, this is, again, people like this are the reason why Marathon will never be popular. Because they will, any kind of criticism, anything that would allow more people to play a game. Again, playing solo does not hurt anyone. I don't know what is going on here, but it doesn't hurt anyone. But this is why Marathon, people like this, will be why Marathon will never reach wider audiences, because they are so dead on set, like, no, only certain people can enjoy this. We have Ryan. I haven't been really worried about Marathon's population, but if Bungie is going to lock their very cool Sound Pinnacle activity that is the namesake of the game behind weekends, that's a barrier to entry that's going to take people from I'll check it out to no thanks, which is exactly what is happening. We'll look at Steam charts later. It did nothing to move the needle at all. But this, again, this is exactly the problem, is you're literally, the only thing that makes Marathon seem like Marathon is literally the compiler. Nothing in this game is like, oh, this is a traditional Marathon. Nothing at all. And so I love this. The discourse of Cryo being only a weekend feels very similar. I don't know how retarded people are. I just realized my chat from yesterday's up. Whoopsie doopsie. I had that stupid thing up this entire time, and I feel stupid. My bad. Good thing it was small and in a corner. No one can mess with it. But like, it's funny to compare a full-ass map to a weekend to a game mode, which, funny enough, those trial maps are on rotation in the normal playlist that you can play. The normal PvP, yeah, you could play those maps normally. It's just, you can't make, it's always the Bungie ball fondlers. It's always the full-on retards that try to defend the shittiest like corpo decisions. All right, so, and then this. Bro, I can't do this. Cryo Archives difficulty cannot be understated. Could this be the hardest challenge Bungie has ever made? It is so forced. I don't understand why. There's nothing more forced than Marathon hype. How can the two people that have done multiple day one raids say that this is the hardest challenge? People beat this one in 12 hours, and it's comparing to other games. Like, are we serious? Or other raids, like actual raids, like Last Wish? You're gonna say that this was harder than Last Wish? You're gonna say this was harder than Valor Disciple? Hell, the Witness. You're gonna say this was harder than the fucking Witness? Hell, are we gonna say this was harder than the most recent raid? Fuck. Well, I forgot what it's called. The Vex one. Fuck it out. No one really cares. But like the one where everything was harder than shit to try to kill. Like, yeah, like we're gonna act like, damn, this was a challenge. Like, you could say it was definitely hard, but this is like cope, which is funny. I saw these guys backtrack so desperately try to hype up this thing. It's like, it's a raid. No. It's more like Niobe Labs. Like this, like, I get that you guys are excited and trying to build hype, but like, damn, be genuine about it. It just feels so forced. I don't understand why we're forcing games. Like, if you enjoy it, just enjoy it. But like, hyping stuff up to hype stuff up, it just feels very artificial. Marathon is a survival shooter I wanted OG Destiny to be. But Marathon is like if you introduce players to Destiny 2 by throwing them all into an in-game raid together. No, that is not what Marathon, that's not even close. Like, what the fuck are people, why is everyone comparing this to a raid? It really, it's kind of like a self-report that people are comparing this to raids, or even Marathon difficulty to raids. It's a self-report. You've never done a fucking raid, or you're one of the dudes that had to be carried or something. I don't know. I just can't believe the raid-like mechanics in Marathon that Bungie teased end up being interact with 3 monitors with the same symbol. I knew that marketing Cryo as a raid-like thing was a bait. It wouldn't work in this genre, but I still expected something more than that. It's a dungeon. Yeah, surely getting the DNA, Tranquility, Colonist, Crenial, all this bullshit, Secret Hatch. These aren't raid mechanics. It's a glorified scavenger hunt that requires little to no thought about the players. Raid-like mechanics implies some sort of execution in tandem between players to achieve some task at hand. I wouldn't classify gathering items on the map that, especially if it's RNG based. I agree, they aren't super in-depth. They certainly aren't a nothing burger worth of stuff. If I had to compare them to anything, I'd say COD Zombies level stuff. Okay, so that's not a raid though, agree. I don't hate the steps or the process, I just don't think it's a raid-like at all. It's not. It's literally just doing a, you nailed it. It's like doing zombies. You're doing the little collect all for zombies, then you fight a little dungeon boss, which is still fucking cool. Like, I mean, is it as cool as fighting a big ass giant robot in Arc Raiders? No, but it's still cool. You could still think it's cool. I mean, it was a nothing burger fight. It's hit 2 buttons, shoot some balls, shoot the boss, dodge lasers, hit some buttons, shoot some balls, shoot the boss 3 times or rotational wise and do big damage and he's dead. It's small, it's cool, but is it as hype as saying it's raid-like? No, I think it's definitely bait and very dishonest, especially people who actually played raids. It's nowhere near the hype level of that. It's like a mini dungeon. Actually, is it dungeon? Like the mechanics dungeon? Yeah. Is it more like a Lost Sector boss? Kind of, yeah. Lost Sector boss was more like it. Or Niobe Labs. I think Niobe Labs is perfect. The amount of, like, it's not like, you could probably do it solo, Niobe Labs, a lot of work, but I would say Niobe Labs is a close, comparison. But I do find it funny that people were like, it's okay for the map to be weekends only because power creep. And then you have power creep. Guys, we're gonna make it so that only a select few people can. How are casuals supposed to compete with this? That's easy. You don't. So all the streamers and chads who don't have a job play all weekend, and then your 9-to-5 dudes who are supporting Marathon will literally get shit on during the weekdays, not be able to gear up for the weekend, and then they go in and then they still die because the chads with the best shit are killing everyone. Yes, Bungie. Woo! Even though this problem has been solved, not just by wipes, but also with key cards in Tarkov. Tarkov, you go in whenever you want. You go in whenever you want, as long as you have a card key, and you're forced to play the game. You have to go through all the maps. You might get lucky, and it might be on a dead scav, or if you play as a scav, you might get lucky. You're limited by card keys, and so you're not just like people on weekends. Instantly back to back. You could theoretically spend 24 hours and get a whole inventory full of the best shit. Whereas in Tarkov, the labs, the hardest challenge, you are limited by keys because you have an amazing run. Okay, well, you have to have another key to go. Or if you die and lose everything, well, you have to have a key and go. And you can go at your own pace. You can take the time to gear up and go on a Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, and play the game when you want to. So anyone who says, oh, but it's good to keep power, the power gap, to keep things that it's bullshit. Yeah, here's another one. It's just bullshit. Like, why are we just making up bullshit, dude? Farming the main boss while solos can't even load into the map. Yeah, like the whole argument that this needs to be weekend only is pure, utterly bullshit, and there's no right reason. Like, it's crazy that Bungie loves taking ideas from everyone else except the good ones. They take all the shittiest ideas possible from other games, but not the good ones. Like, key card, they already have key cards in the game, so why can't you just make it a thing that happens naturally to get into the map itself? And that way you're not time gated, you're just, gated by how often you find a key, and it makes you play the game. It's a cycle, right? You want the best shit? Play the fucking game. Whereas here it's just get 5K, be level 25, you get to play all weekend. Like, it's so weird. So weird to me. As someone who really prefers to play solos, Bungie gating this is a forced trio queue feels torturous. And honestly, if I'm not given a solo option, I'll probably not even engage with the map at all after this. By the way, this is another person that has, again, been like glorifying and praising Bungie, and they've been a marathon stan. So you're seeing people who would normally be praising the shit out of it also complaining about common things. Man, here's your boy coming in to slap down another Bungie cultist who's like Winter. What a fucking idiot. So we have Joker. I'm not trying to be rude. So the piece of content that was supposed to be make or break for Marathon, the thing that would revolutionize everyone's experience, which is, by the way, you had Scara hyping this up. You had multiple people hyping up, even Bungie hyping this up as you're gonna do raid-like mechanics. Like, it was supposed to be a massive selling point, give a point to the whole game as a whole, is seemingly inaccessible to a large portion of players who play solo. And on weekends, we have Winter. Guy in 2014, the piece of content that was supposed to make or break for Destiny, the thing that would revolutionize everyone's experience, give a point to the game as a whole. And it's very obvious. 2014, we're talking about Vault of Glass. That's right. But the difference about Vault Glass is once it was released, it was open 24/7. That meant you get to play it whenever you wanted to. Sure, there was a loot lockout. Sure. But if you wanted to play the thing you paid for, you could do that. And so just it's also funny. Just a reminder, Tarkov, the first hardcore extraction shooter, has labs, which allows solos to play its hardest in-game map. Comparing other extraction shooters, Marathon is the weirdo, which is very true. Again, double clap. No other, every other, besides Marathon, every extraction shooter has solo play, even in the hardest map. It's funny. There is no excuse. No matter how much you suck the dick of Bungie, you're still retarded. And then we have a shout out to this person. This entire argument also forgets LFGs were a lot more accessible back in Destiny, in the day of Destiny 1. Plenty of people willing to take the time to carry and help a solo. I remember my own stumbling through LFG as a solo was how I found my clan and the friends I met to this day. Yeah. Good luck LFGing in Marathon. Good luck. I'm sure that won't be toxic as fuck, especially if you have retards like this. Here we come to, let's look at Paul cooking first, and then we'll see Joker cook some dumbasses. So we have Marathon Cryo Archive is cool, or meets cold reality. Paul Tassi articles. Marathon is amazing, but the numbers. Cryo Archive has amazing design, but the numbers. Marathon has good reviews, but the numbers. Man, people is not bling. Yes, numbers are not huge. But it's like you really like to remind people the doom and gloom. Yeah, man, the numbers matter. What the hell do you want me to say? You can meme all you want, but if you want this game to last, you need those numbers. Guys, you're telling us the truth. You're telling us the numbers, Mason. What do they mean? Man, every single article, every single one, you mention the game, but you end with doom and gloom. Every article you can't stop mentioning. I am nobody to tell you what to write, what to do, but every single article for every single one. And I love Paul. Is this the one? I love fucking Paul. Paul coming in with an RKO to just, here it is. Here's all his articles. Every single one. And what does bitch boy have to say? Thank you. He's like, thank you. Sorry for correcting me, sir. Thank you for taking a little bit of time and reminding me that you made Marathon articles without including but the numbers topic. Again, as I said in my replies, I'm no one to tell you what to do and what not to do. Well, you said all of them, which wasn't true. So there you go. Shut the fuck up, you stupid bitches. It's always the stupid Bungie bros who don't want to write a doom and gloom article on doom and gloom articles. I did. Why are people hating Marathon as a sport? It's like, guys, why are you whining about doom and gloom? Well, maybe if there's doom and gloom, it's doom and gloom. Guys, why are we talking about poverty? It's so doom and gloom. Well, poverty is doom and gloom, you dumb fuck. Of course people are going to report on the fucking obvious. really seems like all the, to be honest, but yeah, I was wrong. Negativity is more widely shared than neutrality or positivity. Well, it's all negativity if you are so hung up on what other people think about your game or the game you like, and you need self-validation. You need other people to feel and think the same way as you. Of course, all you're going to see is the negativity. You're never going to look at the positivity. The same thing about my channel. Hell, you look at this asshole right here. I look at channel 30 videos about nothing but complaining and whining. Want to make content you think, and I have. I've made content that I like, and I'm also calling out bad business practices. There was the video about EA and then Epic Games, and then also Nintendo being greedy. I am doing what I love, which is calling out shitty practices because they're ruining the hobby that I love. So it's always these dick eaters that need to be put in their place because they don't know what they're talking about, and they need to shut the fuck up. But damn, I have respect for Paul for putting this bitch in his place, because he's the prototypical Bungie dick sucker. Now we have Joker, not to defend Paul, but this is literally the equivalent of getting mad because someone said the sky is blue or the water is great and swimming is fun, but always go with a friend just in case something happens. Ah, Steve. Another one. Another Bungie bot. Oh, yeah. Yeah. So, genuine question. Are you just going to keep doing this stuff until you die? Do you even play video games? Or is it going to be staring at Bungie forever? I assume there's something happier you could do with your life. Damn. It is so fucking weird that people are like, they're so hyper-focused on you, talking about you and your well-being and your life. Like, bro, why are you such a fucking weirdo? That's crazy projection. And for what? Having a nuanced take about a product? You've been doing this shit since I was in middle school, bro. Is there a video game you enjoy? I recommend you play that so you can be happy for once. You've been watching this guy since middle school. That says more about you if you don't like what he's saying. I recommend you. That's the mind of these people. They don't like you, but they don't stop talking or watching you. I recommend, that's mental illness, by the way. I recommend you play that so you can be happy for once. Why stay so obsessed with Bungie when you've clearly hated everything they've done for a decade? You can understand, you understand that you can enjoy something, but also view the reality of that thing. It's not one or the other. You can like Marathon or Destiny or Final Fantasy 14 or WoW or E33 or 40K and still understand that X, Y, and Z could be done better, understand the reality of business. I'll give an example. I love 40K. I've spent thousands of dollars on the franchise. GW was not something for the Armageddon Steel Legion because I don't know what this is. It's dumb. That doesn't mean I suddenly hate 40K or I'm unhappy. If your happiness is derived from the consumption of a product to the point you can't remove your personal enjoyment from the conversation about the product, that's not a good thing. And let's not pretend you're a bastion of positivity. Getting fucking called out on the carpet, you dumb bitch. You fucking dumb bitch. Damn. Damn. Anyone who says stop nerfing is a moron. And guess what? Crickets. Of course, crickets. Crickets. Of course. Yeah. Stupid dumb bitch. I love this shit. I love this shit when you put them on the carpet and they literally look like a retard. Still got, let's see. Marathon doesn't have worldwide appeal. It's basically the game's tagline, by the way. Still got me by surprise. It meant locking swats of the players. I don't know if it meant lots or swats of the player base out of the game. Bungie really goes above and beyond. You know I love Marathon. I just want to play without having to stare at a loading screen for 20 minutes at a time if I find a match. Yeah, apparently you're starting to see the downfall of the game across the world because people are having to wait. Which, guess what? When a game doesn't cater to across the world, that's what fucking happens. It's meant for America only, guys. It's only America. I think this is 100% a fair criticism. I hope it is addressed ASAP. Marathon's fan base constant need to defend the game is one of its biggest problems. Even simple good faith questions get treated like attacks, and that's only going to push people away or turn people who are interested off more than any Steam chart doomer would ever. Exactly. People are not looking at the people who aren't playing the game. People are looking at the people who do and seeing how they act. I want to be playing with the people who are unhinged? Fuck no. So let's look at some of those unhinged people, shall we? You're telling me the brand new single player action player game has more than the hardcore niche extraction shooter? It's funny. We went from trying to blow the game up as being some big hit to now they have accepted that Marathon is a niche. Isn't that crazy how we've gone full circle? Isn't that crazy? We've gone full circle. Grums. Oh no, so it's okay to bash on games? Yep, it is. It's always funny. It's very hypocritical. I like to say that the other side, like, let's not act like Grums isn't hypocritical, but the people who are defending Marathon and trying to give it special treatment, let's not act like they also aren't hypocritical, because they are. I think Bungie needs to do more free weekends and things like that for people to try, get in and try. I generally think people would play and experience it. They would see, but they did. They did have a free weekend. And this is what I'm talking about. People, they're so desperate to try to convince other people differently. Like, people who like Marathon are already playing the game. Like, the people who enjoy Marathon are already playing the game. And there's this weird, desperate attempt to try to convince people that if you don't like Marathon, you're wrong, or you're a hater, or you didn't give it a fair shot, when most people fucking did. I feel like anyone who has even a desire to play as it or will, free weekend isn't gonna get me into it, as I can't justify giving the company any of my money after all the ill will. Exactly, and that's the commonality. It's just crazy, this whole, guy, you're wrong. If you just played it, you would love it. But they did play it, and they didn't love it, and then you said, you gave them an excuse like you didn't spend 50 hours to play it. You have to spend 50 hours. You can't just play it and enjoy it. You have to spend 50 hours to enjoy it, which is just moving the goalpost. Marathon is a 11 out of 10 game where the average non-marathoner thinks it's a 5 out of 10. We need to fix that now. This game is so peak raw. Triggered some chuds with this one. Damn. Yes, because you're a fucking retard. It insinuates that people who don't like Marathon are not capable of understanding whether they like it, and that you need to fix it. Like, the whole mentality, we need to fix this problem. It's not a problem. It's just a reality. I love this. Cryo is proof that Bungie has such an amazing map design when they give them the resources they need to cook. Haters are missing out on peak gaming. Insanely huge props. And it's so fucking, like, again, at this point, people are trying to convince themselves they like Marathon. No one is missing anything. People who wanted it are playing it. Everyone else is playing games like Crimson Desert. You can tell by the player count. I mute people who bitch and moan about Steam charts. I hate so much. I don't even think about you. It's true. It's true. Farming Marathon haters is literally so easy. All you have to do is say you're better than them, and they start foaming from the mouth. Just as a reference, if you think that me making fun of Cult of Bungie people, they're also farming. So let's not act like they're not farming either. Yeah, Paul Tassi's right here that it was impossible for the cryo chamber map to really spike player counts. It was never going to happen. Like, it's or archive, whatever. It's very obvious that was never going to happen. And then people, like, let's just talk about in this episode. Marathon has been getting special treatment, right? Marathon has been getting special treatment. It's crazy because Bungie asked them to hold off on reviews. And we have someone saying, let me get this straight. From Software expected viewers to hold off on reviews until they beat the Elden Beast. And this content basically requires you to spend hours grinding. By the way, just as a fact check, they did not. In summary, From Software likely wanted people to experience the full game, but the review scheduling and sheer size of the game meant that beating the Elden Beast was not a practical requirement for initial wave of reviews. Again, a full-on single player versus a $40 extraction shooter where 90% of the game is experienced out the get-go, and not because you didn't play Cryo Archive. Which, let's just see the difference of special treatment versus actually doing someone's job. So here we have 10 critical reviews. And look at all, by the way, you should not ever give a shit about any of these reviews. The fact that they are holding back, none of their opinions matter. Not a damn, they are giving special treatment to Marathon. I would, even the 90s, I would give credit to. I would absolutely believe what they, like, they're not afraid. They gave 90, they said they liked it. But you have 8 reviewers. I wouldn't, these reviews mean fucking nothing. After the release date of everyone else, like, I would say after this date, or not that date, but what date? March 11th. What is it? 17th. Absolutely, I would just not give a shit about any of the other reviews. Why? Because here we go, a game that's been out for a couple days. It already has 93 reviews. Let's see how many people are still holding back their reviews. Let's see. Let's be fair. Let's do it. And I didn't check this. Let's do it in real time. Let's be fair. That's right. Let's see how many reviews are being held back for Crimson Desert. Let's be fair. We're being fair. Let's see how many reviews are being held back out of 90. Okay, let's see. Out of 90. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Okay, so 10. So out of 93, so there's a potential of how many? 102. Only 10 are still playing or reviewing, whereas a majority have given a review. And it's been 2 weeks. 2 weeks since they've released the game. Again, special treatment. People want to gas this game up, and funny enough, like the Cryo did not do shit. By the way, for the dudes out there that get upset when you for this one's for One Peg. One Peg really does not like that you share graphs, and so much so that he consistently talks about it constantly or something to do with it. Just does not like this just a little bit. This dude rails on constantly, and it's so funny. YouTuber for gaming news. Ah, yes, gaming news. So here's how you actually look at data. So we have 5 different games. By the way, you can look at not only can you get multiple games, compare charts, you can also align the release dates. So we have Arc Raiders, which is obviously the outliner. Then you have, Helldivers. And the reason I put that there is because people love to talk about Helldivers for PlayStation and it also being like an extraction shooter. So I put it in there for the funs of it. Then you have Marathon and Escape from Tarkov, even though Tarkov technically doesn't count because it released in 2016 and it's on a Battle State launcher and where a majority of its players are at. But just for the sake of having it. And then we also have Hunt Showdown, which is the lowest of them. It's funny that the currently day 17 is about comparative to Escape of Tarkov, and Escape from Tarkov isn't even fucking not even the main launcher for this game. So it's kind of funny that the Marathon's going down to the point where it's matching a game where Steam isn't even its comparative. But people are gonna be like, oh, but Arc Raiders shouldn't count. No, it should count, because the whole point of a game is that you need to stand out above your peers. This game, it goes over and beyond in what it delivers. It does what it needs to do, and it does it right. Not to say that you can't have a niche. Like Tarkov is still, even with the player numbers from the official launcher, it would still be somewhere like around here. Like it would be probably 100K, 200K, something like that. Like that's still pretty good for a niche. But to be considered a actual success, especially globally, Arc Raiders is a global success. Marathon is just a success for the Bungie bros. I know. One Peg and people like One Peg don't like looking at charts. They don't like the data. No, you're looking at data. You're giving a cross-play. Oh no, the data. It's funny. I've seen this guy consistently talk about and get mad about people doing the charts. Then you're supposed to be enjoying the game. Like, bro, One Peg? Bro, that's not a username. That's a psyche vow. Patient presents with one functional brains and critical thinking skills of someone who got dropped in their head repeatedly. Look, someone's got to be the cautionary tale why you don't name yourself after spare parts. Anyways, that's the end of that. Flashbang to trigger the Bungie bros with the data. Here you go. Here we're more data. Oh shit! Fuck! Ah! Anyways, I'm done being an asshole. I'll see you guys later. As always, enjoy the long Sunday video. I'll see you next.